Hello, I'm Steven the Calculator Guy, and today we're going to talk about the Patreon. Now, I know that's kind of strange, but I get a lot of questions about what is the Patreon, what services are offered on the Patreon, how do I use the Patreon, and so I'm going to use this as an opportunity to explain and answer all those questions. If you're not interested, then feel free to not watch this video. If you are interested, let's dive right in. So, the Patreon is a platform where you can interact with me directly and my community directly. So, what benefits are offered? Well, when you jump onto the Patreon, the first thing you'll see is these welcome links and resources. So if you are in the tiers that get the premium Discord, you can connect your Patreon to Discord, and then you will automatically be added to the premium channels in the DeFi Dojo Discord. Okay, and we'll talk about the DeFi Dojo Discord in a little bit. I think that's probably where a lot of the value for this comes from. All calcs, paid and free. If you click on this link, it'll open up to all of the calculators that I've ever made, the paid ones and the free ones, so you will have access to all of those. So you'll see the paid calcs are all here, and the free calcs are in this folder up here, all of which you will have access to. Okay, cool. Then my YouTube channel, just right there, Twitter right there, my ledger, so if you want to track my investments in real time, it's right there. And then the big one is, so here's my ledger, for example, with my current investments. These are tracked from February where I made this, so it doesn't include my investments prior to that. So any rewards I'm getting from passive income prior to that are not included in here because the dates would just be off. And I wanted to sort of start from a new slate to say, like, this is me trying in this bear market. Initial portfolio allocations, not great. We learned that lesson last week, right? So anyways, I'm also working on the big one 2.0, but the big one is the other sort of main resource that people utilize. It's just a list of protocols that I find compelling and their current APYs, and then the previous week's APY in the week over week change, as well as the average change in APY for all of the protocols, just to see like sort of where APYs are going as a trend. What I will say is that the new big one, the one that I'm currently developing, will break risk into two things. It'll break risk into contract risk as well as stability. So the stability means the APY stability, where contract risk means the contract risk. And I wanted to break it into these two things because before, if there was a very volatile APY, but a super solid protocol, right? Do I call it high risk or not? The protocol is safe, but the APY is volatile, so your investment might do worse than the APY or something like that, right? So I wanted to break those two things up because I thought that was intuitive, at least when people are trying to determine their risk. And so the new one will have stablecoin options, blue chip single side yields, blue chip liquidity pools. I mean, all of these things, right? I'm trying to update these on reasonable timelines, but I have a lot of things being built right now. Might be a little bit slower than usual. Anyways, in addition to access to all of those things, you will also be able to message me and I'll respond within 24 to 48 hours. So if you do message me through Patreon at any tier, I will respond to you in 24 to 48 hours, 48 hours on the weekends, because, I take one day off per week, and 24 hours, generally speaking, most weekdays, but 48 hours sometimes, depending on how booked I am the day before. Okay, so let's look at the tiers, right? Calculators, this is just access to this Patreon posts, and messaging me. That's it. That's all you have access to. With Discord only, you only have access to the Discord, none of the Patreon posts. So what do I post on Patreon? Well, I post things like my impressions on the Yields Notes call I had with the founder today. I spoke with Steve, and I did a debrief for patrons. I'm also a link to the community call. Every Thursday at 1 p.m. we have a community call where I talk, some of the mods may be there, and we just discuss DeFi for an hour between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. EST. It's really fun. We also record those, or I record those now, and I post those afterwards, so anyone who missed those can listen on. I think there's a lot of good information shared during those calls. Okay, so I asked people for questions when I was meeting Steve from Yield Nodes. Did a Metacrypt post for Uni V3 APR estimations, Vault 4. I mean, these are just opportunities that I'm noticing, right? And as I'm noticing them, I'm posting about them and maybe doing little blurbs. Here's the last community call recorded, etc., etc. So these are just the kind of things that I post. I usually, opportunities I'll post here more frequently, and then just like my DeFi thoughts I'll do on Twitter or in the Discord. So anyways, that's what you'll have access to with calculators, but it's what you won't have access to with Discord only. With Discord only, you won't be seeing those posts. You'll only have access to the Discord, but you'll still be able to message me if you want, and I'll respond within 24 to 48 hours. Next is the everything tier, which gives you access to everything. So that's the Discord, the calculators, the Patreon. Everyone gets access to all my calculators who's here in any of these tiers, but you'll have access to the Patreon posts, the Discord, and calculators and messaging me, all that stuff is in the everything tier. Calculus B is the exact same as the everything tier. It's just that if I delete a tier, then everyone in that tier gets put into limbo and they still have to pay with none of the benefits. So there's really nothing I can do. I just keep it open, and they're gracious enough to pay me $5 more per month just because they're supportive, and I appreciate that. So everything tier is no different from Calculus B. Quantum Physics and Quantum Plus, these are the two sort of premier services. Effectively, if you're in Quantum Physics, you can schedule an hour of time with me per month. That can be broken up into 1 hour session or 2 half-an-hour sessions. You'll get my Calendly link, and we just talk, right? We talk DeFi. We can look at your portfolio. We can talk about investments. I can just give you, you can ask me questions about DeFi concepts, things like that. Mostly what happens is we review different strategies and different opportunities in the space, and then just sort of like talk risk and reward. Quantum Plus is the same thing, right? Except you get 2 hours per month instead of 1 hour. So that can be 4 sessions, 2 1-hour sessions, 1 1-hour session, 2 half-an-hour sessions, however you want to break that up. So those are the tiers available. Let's look at the Discord. So there is a free section in the Discord down here. Let me make this big. So the free section is called the Dojo Guests, and we do have some chats there. Nodes, charts, degen, yield farming, the very, very basic ingredients of what you would imagine in a Web 3.0 or Web 3 Discord, right? There's also Web3 devs where you can ask questions to devs, or devs can talk about themselves, and if anyone wants to utilize them, and DeFi job postings, where job postings related to, why is he there? Why did he post to me? I'm not looking for a job. But you can post jobs there for Web3. And, if anyone is interested in pursuing jobs, there's a job board there. Okay, paid portion. With the paid resources, you can see sort of a breakdown of the channels here. And then you can get a list of resources for Web3. Then support. So this is a support channel. Support channel is for the VIP members, the paid premium Discord members, and effectively what they get is they can ask questions on the support channel, and they will have those questions answered, right, either by me or other mods. Knowledge sharing, this is just where it's kind of like a news feed for DeFi information. The Dojo chat is like the general discussion. This is oftentimes where we see the most new users. Now at this point I want to explain the different colored names. It's a belting system. So we have a belting system from white belt all the way to black belt, and that is based on effectively your expertise in DeFi. And so as we sort of watch people grow in DeFi, or as we just acknowledge their pre-existing genius in DeFi, we will belt them up eventually to the level of black belt. Now we have I think 12 black belts altogether out of 7,000 individuals. And so these are very active and very adept DeFi power users, in my opinion. And so they're there. You can see them. You can hang out with them, talk to them. But the reason why we have this belting system is effectively so people know who has ethos in this space and who might either be new or maybe hasn't yet shown that you should be listening to everything that they're saying. So the belting system is there. It is semi-subjective, but we're in this Discord, we're watching these conversations, and once you're there and you speak to these black belts, you'll understand very quickly why they're black belts. So the black belt chat is just for the black belts to speak and talk and communicate, and no one else can communicate in those channels. But the paid members of the Discord can watch those conversations to get ideas or whatever else. Portfolio sharing is where you can share your portfolio, and we can sort of like talk about different portfolio strategies, allocations, risk reward, things like that. I recommend using percentages and not fiat value. That way, you don't become a target for anything at all, right? It's a good rule of thumb to speak in terms of percentages and not in terms of dollar amounts. Of course, for a public figure like me, I don't really have that luxury, but just as a rule of thumb. So then we have farming, stablecoin farming, leverage farming, options, lending and borrowing, all of these different things where we can have specific conversations about protocols, types of protocols, and things like that. Questions about specific new opportunities and this and that. One of the other things we have is we do have charts with Keith, which is really nice. He'll post charts in here. We did have webhooks that were posting straight from him, but I guess the webhooks went down for a little bit, so now he's just coming over here and posting. Awesome guy. Really appreciate that he's doing that. Also someone whose Patreon you might want to consider getting into. A lot of value over there. They're now doing Forex as well as stocks as well as crypto. So really trying to diversify. And out of all the people I know in DeFi right now, the people over at the 786 Assassins are making the most money, just because they're doing trading. They're market agnostic. They can make money in bear markets. Anyways, he is here as well, and so is Groot. He is our resident day trader, so he trades on leverage and does very well. I know him personally, and really exciting stuff that he posts, as well as some of his win rates. Both Keith and Groot are also available for one-on-ones, but you do have to pay them separately. So if you want to get into day trading, or if you want to get into just like charting, you can speak to either Groot or Keith in the Discord. Okay, one other thing that we have is the builders role. Currently, one of the builders is online, but we do have, I think, 6 or 7 builders. Builders are just people who work on protocols and have probably come on for AMAs. So we choose protocols that we really like for AMAs, like Aperture, like Friction. Those are like the 2 big ones I've had in the past month, because we're kind of selective. But anyways, and what we'll do is we'll offer them like 4 premium roles as builders here. And so they can come in, they get to have access to all of our resources, and then we sort of have them hang out here, which I think is beneficial, right? So I know, like, Ox Friction, for example, has responded to many of our questions about options and how the vaults work. And then McDavid from Aperture has answered a lot of our Aperture questions. So it's been pretty cool to have people hang out here. And yeah, if you're interested, I would look forward to having you come as well. That's pretty much it for the opportunities. So one of the first questions you might have is like, okay, I just joined. How do I connect? How do I get to the Discord? Well, if you go back to the main page, which is not home actually, I have to go to page and then view page. Then you can see there is a thing about how to connect your Discord. So it's through here, and you just follow these instructions and you'll connect your Discord and automatically be added to the right tiers. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Yeah, I do want to say some exciting things that are coming up, but I do know, or I also think or believe, that if you get rewarded for something before you do it, right? So if people are excited for you for something you haven't done yet, it demotivates you from doing it. So I'm not going to say anything about what's up and coming. I'm not going to give you guys a roadmap. Just going to do it. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. One last thing. This is like a big warning to anyone who signs up for Patreons. When you join, you pay for that month immediately. So if you join on the 29th, you'll pay for that month. And then on the 1st of the next month, you'll pay again. So either you should join Patreons really early, or you should like pay for the year in advance. If you pay for the year in advance for my Discord, you'll get a 15% discount. So it incentivizes people to sort of do that, but you know, everyone has to make their own determinations. So you get a 15% discount if you do the year in advance, and then, you know, then you're not paying for fractional months at full cost. Yeah, so generally, as a rule of thumb, better to join at the 1st of the month than the 29th of the month. But if you join at the 29th of the month, it's okay. Just let me know. I'll give you a refund for that month, because I think it's terrible that Patreon does that. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.